Customs Service Board. The House notes with concern the continued failure by the Minister of Finance to constitute the board of the Nigerian Customs Service. The House is aware that the Nigerian Customs Service Board was established under Section 1, Subsection 2 of the Nigerian Customs Service Board Act, Cap 100, Laws of Federation 2004, and placed under the control of the Federal Ministry of Finance. The House is also aware that the powers being exercised by the Customs, Immigration, and Prison Service Board to appoint, promote, and exercise disciplinary control over staff of the Nigerian Customs Service are vested in the board under Section 4 of the Nigerian Customs Service Board Act. The House is further aware that Sections 2, Subsection 1A to J of the said Act provides for the composition or membership of the board, while Section 3A and B1 to 2 provides for the functions of the board as follows: formulating the general policy guidelines for the Nigerian Customs Service, administering the Customs and Excise Management Act, and accordingly, the board shall, subject to the general control of the minister, control and manage the administration of the customs and excise laws, and collect the revenues of customs and excise and account for them in such manner as the minister shall from time to time direct. The House is concerned that the absence of the board is a contravention of the provisions of the Act and is thereby affecting the effective functioning of the Nigerian Customs Service. The House is also concerned that unless the anomaly in the non-composition of the board is urgently addressed, the whole essence of the Act will be defeated. The House is called upon to resolve as follows: 1, to urge the Minister of Finance to urgently constitute the board of the Nigerian Customs Service. 2, forward the resolution of the House to the Senate for concurrence. And 3, mandate the Committee on Customs and Excise to ensure implementation and report back in 4 weeks for further legislative action. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I so move. The importance of Nigerian customs in the country cannot be overemphasized, my dear colleagues. Aside the NNPC, which superintends over the oil sector, the Customs Service appears to be the second highest revenue-generating agency in this country. And it is therefore very important that this sector should be administered particularly in line with the laws that has established the sector. The application is very simple and straightforward. The Nigerian Customs Board, by law, is established. Aside being established, the powers of management of the Nigerian Customs Act is vested by law on the board. But today, because we do not have a board, the CG of Customs appear to be managing that power. And indeed, under the said law, particularly Section 7, the board can delegate its powers to any officer. But since there is no board, the clear implication is that these powers have not been delegated, and therefore anybody who is exercising them against the clear provisions of the law. Let me also remind us that it is only the board that has powers to recruit, to promote, to fire, or employ in Nigerian Customs Service. But these actions have been taking place. In fact, when the current CG came into office, the first thing he did was to either ask for compulsory retirement or some custom officers were fired. Where did he derive these powers from? And it is our responsibility as legislators to ensure that our laws, the laws that we make, are complied with. What I am calling on us is to ensure that the law that this House has made is complied with. No doubt, if this board is also constituted, Nigerians that are out there without job will equally be employed. And let this sector begin to run the way it should be managed. It is too huge a sector to be left for an individual, and then the exercise of discretion, of course, will also lead to corruption. So what I am calling on the House to do is to begin to cut down the unnecessary exercise of discretion by individuals. Let the board be properly constituted, and let Nigerian Customs run the way it should run. My dear colleagues, I urge you to support this very simple and straightforward motion. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Those against it say nay. Ayes have it.